What's up, good people? It is the werewolf himself. Thank you for helping me to reach, I think we're at 51 or 52,000 subscribers and another 30 or 40 unsubscribed people. It's probably mostly AI, government agents, board members for the states, all the people who really like to make sure that they support me. So thank all of you guys. All right. So this particular video is about we're going to call this the alleged law enforcement document on the private person / sovereign citizen flyer. Okay, so this was a document that was floating around on the internet. I'm not going to make any allegations as to what state or which department issued this. We're just going to say that this is the information that was issued allegedly. I can't find additional information to 100% prove they issued it, so we're not going to make any allegations. All we're going to say is that it's a head department of somewhere. Their information is on this letter. And allegedly, it says it was issued to the law enforcement. Not could have been school or university put the information together, or a private person. We don't know. But we're going to take a look at it because in the letter, it says this is not to construe that people using these things are doing anything illegal, but it's to help law enforcement potentially identify, which there's no legal classification, but a sovereign citizen. It's an oxymoron. So there's actually no official legal term. So now if I were to be bothered and written up, which is defamation of character as a sovereign citizen, then I would say, well, that term has no standing because it's not legally identified anywhere in law, but in your private groups, which does not make it law. So there's a difference between of law or at law. All right, so this document we will jump on right now, and I will go through and confirm, or well, I won't say deny, but I'll just confirm whether it's true or not from the best that I understand. And we'll see how this information could be construed as if if this was real, and the law enforcement did get this, why they would say, oh, well, you're one of them sovereign citizens. I read about you from this document issued by either the state or the GOV or the whoever. So let's take a look at it. Once I find it. Oh, there we go. Yeah. And let us share screen. I need a magic word to make the thing pop up. What can I use? Abracadabra. Anytime now. Okay. So it says on this alleged document, this document serves as an aid for law enforcement and is intended to be used as reference tool only. Law enforcement officials should develop independent probable cause when conducting investigations. I mean, you have to have something legal or lawfully wrong to move on an individual. It says for information presented is for situational awareness and is not indicative of criminal activity or threat of violence. But the problem is half these slack-jawed yokels, and I do have friends and family who are cops, and they're awesome, and they are the good ones. Some of them are still learning this information, most of which are not taught any of this. The more mature cops during the daytime know about it, and the chief of police, but it's the young Billy Bad Butts out there who think they know everything and want to overstep the law because they don't understand constitutional law, which is not necessarily all their fault because the departments do not teach them this, can misconstrue some of the things here. So let's take a look. Bumper stickers, Okay, first of all, no bumper sticker, no matter what it says, can be used legally against you. Okay, but let's break down the information. So they want them to identify, if you see without prejudice that this is a potential sovereign citizen thing. No, this is a commercial number that means any contract, which is what all of them are using under the Uniform Commercial Code, you are not contracting. And police officers have used this. Okay, anybody can use this because all these agencies, all the state ofs are operating under the U.C., which is the commercial code, whether they know it or not. Most of them don't. Free and sovereign. Well, you know me, I don't like the word sovereign, but sovereign is used in the Constitution for the United States of America. So this is an American term. Nothing wrong with this. And it's a bumper sticker, so you can't say or do anything about this. But they want to point out that, hey, give these people some hard times. Okay, that's against the Constitution. So what does it say? I'm an American national. Okay, the Constitution doesn't express this term. So me personally, I would not necessarily use this term. You can use it amongst yourselves, but this is not how the states and the government refer to you. A national, yes. You don't have to say an American national. It's like in being in Brazil. Hey, do you guys have any Brazil nuts in Brazil? No, we have just nuts here. Do you want a mouthful? Got him. So you don't need to call yourself an American national because you're just a national. But the code 8 U.S.C. 1101 looks like A, that shouldn't be in there, but 22B, yes, that would be correct. And what does that term say? All U.S. citizens are also U.S. nationals, but not all U.S. nationals are U.S. citizens. So this would be a correct term without the A in there. Because A means a citizen. You don't want that part. You just want to do 22B. So let's move on. Flags and insignias. An upside down flag, well, that's a disrespect to America. So I wouldn't stand on that one. The Title IV flag is a civil or peacetime variation. So you could use that one, though they're not going to recognize it because one, it doesn't have the gold fringes on it. And two, it's not the current flag of America while we're in a war type state or status. Republic of Alabama. Okay. Well, some states do have, in fact, a republic flag versus a state flag, or they have both. RUSA, Republic of Tennessee. Anybody, so this is not necessarily counterfeit or fake, okay, because there is a republic side of Tennessee or Tennessee state. And if they don't have a claim on the title Republic of Tennessee, then you can create one and operate it, whether privately or publicly, if you want. You can do that. If somebody doesn't have something claimed, you can use it. Let's go on. Moorish sovereign citizen. Okay, so Moors never call themselves sovereign citizens. So this is already starting off incorrect. But it says flags and insignias. So really off the top, no matter what these flags say, either they're used just by you, which is privately, or they're used by you or whoever your group is privately amongst yourselves, or you create a public entity and you use them. So no, this does not indicate anything illegal. Now, the plates over here, okay, if you look at the plates and they took actual real Moor plates, and it says Moorish American National Government. Now, if the group, the Moors, do this on their own, they have the ability to call themselves just exactly that. Now, legally and lawfully, what I would do is I would go to the IRS, which is the government, and create Moorish American National Government, a real government entity, because you've got people, you've got land, you've got all these things, you've got people that follow you. Then make it official and tell everybody who's underneath you is this, and then they will give you the permission to create these plates. But can you do this privately? Yes, you can. If you're not a Moor, you should not be claiming that you are one of these. So don't in that aspect. Washita, I'll be honest, I have no idea what this is or mean. This must be some kind of variation of Washington, whatever. You can do this. It's not illegal as long as your vehicle is not registered as a resident of their state, and this information up here is not registered to the state. The DMV has your vehicle and your vehicle in this as a private entity and a registration that would match that, then this would be okay. If your vehicle, if you still have their driver's license and the vehicle, whether with the certificate of title is not titled to the private entity, and the DMV does not have that information on file as you have sold the vehicle to that entity, and then on top of the plate, it has that entity's name on there, the trust or whatever, then it would be fraud. You're mixing jurisdictions. You can't do that. That's when that would be a problem. All right. So Cherokee Country, Cherokee Nation, well, they are a legitimate entity, but can you use Cherokee Nation if the real Cherokee Nation have that already done? No, that would be fraud. You can't use any of their emblems or names or any of that stuff. It would be fraudulent. Now, you're most likely not going to have to worry about them finding you and prosecuting you. And this will be a matter outside of law enforcement's jurisdiction. But they can take note of it. They can't do anything as long as everything you have is outside of their jurisdiction and you're operating your vehicle under as a non-resident or a foreign vehicle registration. Then there's nothing they can say or do. But if you still have their stuff, but then you slapped on this other stuff on top of it, then you're wrong. You are committing a violation of law of their jurisdiction. All right. So exempt, no license required. Once again, same thing. You can have all this sovereign BS, Moor Republic. You can have all this. If your vehicle is not registered, recorded in their stuff as being still yet in their jurisdiction, you cannot do it. Law enforcement would be well within their right. Now, they can't pull you over because you have a private or weird or different plate. They can pull you over for no plate. And they can pull you over if, say your plate's expired and it's theirs. Now, they're not supposed to pull you over for just that or just a seat belt. They have to have a cause to impair your right to travel, or excuse me, your driving ability, permission. But if one of them wants to be a dick and you're completely in their system and they see this information that doesn't match up with what's in their computer, even though they're by law, they're not supposed to just drive around running plates without having a reason for it, probable cause. But if for some reason they do, and your vehicle shows up with any of this crap, and some of it's not crap, some of it's, just private, but you get what I'm saying, then yeah, they have a right to write you a ticket and bother you because you are half-stepping. You're in two different jurisdictions. I call this my dog poop theory. Dog poop in a cake. Is anybody going to eat the cake if the cake has dog poop in it? No, why not? Because the whole thing has been tainted. So though you're operating your vehicle with non-commercial private, the Saskatchewanian, got my Title 4 flag, you're wrong, period. Done deal. You know how I know? Because I did it too. Before I understood that you can literally go to your state's legislative website, this goes for you police officers too, so that you understand these things, and do your research and look up foreign registered vehicles, foreign persons, non-resident vehicle registration, non-resident aliens. And what does it take to be a non-resident? Your declaration, your affidavit, you using your given name, not the legal name. If I go around saying, yeah, I'm James Lovett, and my vehicle is registered still yet to James Lovett, then in their system, I'm a resident and I can be given a ticket. If I'm operating with my given name, James Charles of the House of Lovett, which is my ability to change my name in common law, use it privately as I see fit, and operate my vehicle privately as I see fit, and now I'm a non-resident. Here's my signed affidavit notarized in front of a notary. And my vehicle, all the way up the ladder, is out of their system because my new trust owns it and it's private. It was never registered to the state. Then I'm operating privately. I'm not even in their system for them to write a ticket. Religious symbols. Okay, so once again, none of these religious symbols, to have a religious symbol, private, homemade, your crest or whatever, none of it is illegal. None of it is unlawful. Zero, period. You have this right in the private. You have the right, this right to rock any of these things in the public. Okay. Now, some people go, oh, a legitimate stamp of the Vatican, you put the stamp on these things. All the stamp really does is pull your matter, that file, that document, that mail piece or whatever, into the jurisdiction of the Postal Service, which is with the UPU. Okay. And as far as I know, they're not going to come to bat and do much of anything. Neither does the UCC for the most part. That's usually operated and handled by the Secretary of State, the Attorney General. But even then, there's not a whole lot of bite there. There are rules that they've agreed to, but very little enforcement have I ever seen, at least in the lower courts, maybe in the federal court, but not in the lower one. So Sovereign Cop Watch, I've seen them do their thing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Somebody should police the police. Okay, once again, here we were talking about the whole stamp and then signing and read over it. Okay, there's nothing wrong with this. When done correctly, with the proper codes from the Postal Service, yes, you can act as your own postmaster over the document. This is true when done properly, not just your name over a stamp. And see, they've got the color significance, so they like I tell, when they take the information, because so many people out there abuse it and do it the wrong way, and most of these police officers and agents don't understand what's really going on. They're doing a job at the bottom level of a corporation. Once again, my offer stands for those officers who do watch this, and I know you guys do. I've got friends and family, once again, who are cops and agents and certain other things. That's how I know some of this, guys. You are not told all of the information because you are fulfilling a job on a need-to-know basis. But if you want to take the challenge up, go and ask the commanding officer about right to travel. Ask them about constitutional law. Or heck, better yet, go get it for yourself. You are in a PMA, a private members association, known as the police force. It's a corporation. It's for profit. It has a league of a number of board members who own it, who you are working for. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a corporation. But that doesn't give you jurisdiction over every single person out there. It gives you jurisdiction to, if you look at the administrative law, the code, it says that you can supervise over the public, meaning non-commercial. But if somebody has a driver's license, now back in the old days, the driver's license used to be for private people, and they had a separate one for doing commercial activities. They combined it. Dog, shit, cake theory. When they combined the private aspect of the driver's license with the for-profit driver's title, it made the driver's license all tainted, which means it's commercial. That's why you can get up off of your butt at any point in time and get a Uber or do a chauffeur or operate a whatever for profit, because it's commercial. And the administrative law states that the service over the public, they are to supervise the public and the private, but to govern and penalize the commercial aspect. Well, what makes commercial? The driver's license, the all capitalized name on your birth certificate. Those are commercial entities issued by the state, which is operating for profit. The state of Florida is operating for profit. They do not own the streets. The streets were paid for with public money, government money, so they are public. They cannot dictate what you can and cannot do with them. I think Illinois is one of the only places that actually has private freeways. They don't get any money from the government, so they can put a toll road on them. That's a benefit. Okay. So gold establishes that an individual is sovereign. Well, gold is divinity. So you're saying this is religious. Okay. Red, they're saying to cancel out an item of documents, reading some cancellation of American citizenship. No, it's not. That's wrong. So for you people putting out the information, if you're going to do it right. Red represents the rooty soil in which a living man stands, and that living man has red blood. So it represents the soil, which we own, the geographical United States of America, the continental United States of America. So it represents the real land, because everything that these people are doing in commerce represents water, commercial, commerce sea, the sea of commerce. So it is that they operate in black, which we'll get to, but the red represents land, equity, and the blood of the living man. That's what it represents. You're not canceling your American citizenship, because if it would be state citizen, national of the United States, or citizen of the United States would be any of those titles. Blue, when used, is dealing with admiralty law. That's true, and which is also known as maritime. The UCC code. As sovereigns, I like how they put in here, as sovereigns believe, okay, this to be the law of the United States and not the Constitution. Okay, well, the problem here, and it says blue symbolizes the link with the sea. So yes, because water is blue, so you're in the water. It means you're doing business with them who only use black, but you're not underneath their jurisdiction as a dead entity with the color black. So, and then Constitution, okay. Well, which Constitution? Are you talking about Washington, D.C.? You talking about the state? Which one are we talking about? Washington, D.C. has its own Constitution. Each state has its own Constitution. And then yet there's the Constitution for the United States of America. Okay? There's jurisdictional things here, and each one of them can have their own basic jurisdictional distinctions. In the private, you can do whatever you want to do and say whatever means whatever in the private. But legally, if you're in one of these corporations, you have to abide by their rules. So when you're doing commercial things, they want you to do everything in black ink. Now, let's see what they say about that. When used, this represents corporate documents, corporate law as being dead and black symbolism. Yes, because all their laws are based on the UCC, which is the commercial code, which is old Roman law, which is old ancient law of maritime jurisdiction, which was originally created by the Atlanteans, if you want to be technical, and then changed and modified over the years. Okay. When you sign a document, why do they always say must be in black ink only? Yeah, because you're admitting that you're in corporate jurisdiction. Even they don't argue that. Yeah, we need you to sign in black. No, I'm gonna do it in blue or red, maybe gold, purple. No, then what do they say? Then it wouldn't be legally binding. Okay, so this is cute. Somebody who put this together, it's cute. You're almost right. You guys really should have just, I could have went through this, but I guess I'm doing it now to prove it. So made to order passports. I didn't even know you can make your own passport, so that's interesting. Can you create your own passport? Yes. Can you make it a religious one like this one? Yes. Will all of the places, including the public ports that are commercial, now you can travel privately, get yourself a private plane, get yourself a private boat. Then you're good. You can make any document and do what you want to do. But if you're going to go through commercial things, which are open to public persons who are legal entities, then yeah, this is not going to work. Now, some places will accept this, but not all of them, which is why some people get the world passport or whatever else, and it works in some places and it doesn't work in others, because other places recognize your ability to be a private person. So here, okay, peace officer, ranger. Now, you can have these things, but if you're going to do this, you're trying to say that you are official. And if you're saying you're official, then you better have a real entity approved by the government to do these things. You better have a real agency that you're recording with them to go around wearing badges. Now, we all know that even, let's say, private security will wear these. Okay. Then you better make sure that you put the name of the company on there and put private, because that's what it is. Public officers, it's in the name. They're a public officer. You cannot be a public officer unless you work for them or one of their agencies. So indicate that it is private or it is fraud and deception, what you're doing. You can be a type of law enforcement, yes, But if you just put law enforcement, public officer, or something like that, you're going to bank you. But you can't. You can say peacekeeper, constable, but you cannot use their exact stuff and their exact words because it's copywritten, it's protected, and you are not sworn in as a public officer. So do not masquerade as one. Republic of the United States of America for American, what does it say? American National Identification Warrant. What are these, business cards or some crap? I don't even know what this is, but no. Once again, if you have a legal entity set up underneath these names, then yeah, you can do that. If not, then you better put private on there. Do not claim to be something that you're not. International diplomatic driver permit. Yeah, you could say that with the family crest or the religious logo on there. I wouldn't put the word driver because that's their word. That means commercial. So you're saying you're an internationally diplomat who's commercially has a commercial permit. You're not a driver, you're a traveler. Their words are owned and operated. Okay. Verbiage, U.S. national. Well, once again, the document on the top, what did it say? It says, this does not mean they're doing anything illegal or unlawful, but you might hear people expressing their constitutional rights as an American using some of these words. Now, U.S. nationals, okay. Non-resident alien, yes, it's on all the documents for the IRS and for the states. Freeman, indigenous, aboriginal. Once again, no problem here. So that's why they say verbal cues. So as an officer, when you start hearing these things, oh, you're a sovereign citizen. No, that's not what this means at all. Now, if you use the term sovereign citizen for yourself, then yeah, you are one. Stupid. Traveler in a vessel, yes, that's okay. Constitutionalist, I don't really like that one. Or they say, what authority do you have to stop me? Well, yeah, because your state level jurisdiction and your private membership does not supersede the Constitution for the United States of America. Ask anybody, ask any head official. What's up with constitutional law? Is that the supreme authority? Because see, I study law and I study history, so I know these things. Average person doesn't. I was taught by a lady by the name of Miss Miles, okay? Certified, decorated, all that good jazz, university, you name it. She went on to become part of, what did she do? She went on to do some kind of legal, something higher up as a public official. All right, anyway, fingerprints, red blood. We already kind of talked about that. Use caution when handling papers in case of biological hazard. That's true. I will give them that one. Somebody hands me some document with their blood on there, handle it carefully. Names and the use of, house of, or whatever else. Well, once again, I like how they go here. Therefore, sovereigns may write their name in all lowercase. Yeah, Black Law's Dictionary, which is what the legal departments use, right? So we're using their stuff to determine this. And it says use of all lowercase means you are not waiving any of your rights. So this is correct information for freedom under the Constitution using their own books. Certain documentation, birth certificates, licenses, other things ensue that part of a corporation. Yeah, because the police are a corporation and they're for profit. Show me something that says the police department is a nonprofit, and I'll recant this video. Okay, maybe some of them are, but they're probably private. The Holy See, so that's religious. Can't, you have to separate church and state. So you have a right to be private with your church. So that doesn't affect. Corporate citizen, American national, indigenous. Well, corporate citizen is fact. Under duress, without prejudice. These are all terms to not waive your rights. So there's no problem here. Officers, bond, or oath. Yeah, because all officers who are public are supposed to have an oath of office. Diplomatic status, yes. For those people this applies to, do your research. The diplomatic status is under 18 U.S.C. 112. Boom. Use of Latin or other languages, yeah, because by not using their stuff, including the verbiage, you are not in their jurisdiction. But that also means that you have to operate your legal person properly and in the private. And if a police officer pulls you over and your vehicle is and name are registered in his computer, then you are operating publicly and not privately. Okay. So once again, information presented here is for situational awareness and is not indicative of criminal activity or threat of violence. So there you go. Now, we could do a true in-depth research by breaking each one of those things down, which probably take like freaking 5 hours to show you all of the code. So I gave you a little bit of it, but now you can see why they would have their condition from what they're taught. I've had cops in my seminars and they said, I researched what you were showing to disprove you, and I can't. They've done it. And I said, yeah, no problem. I was like, I have no problem with cops at all. The ones who overstep or don't know the law, I do. Not personally, per se. But they don't teach you guys what's going on. And the problem for you guys, such officers, is that you don't know what's really going on. And it is what it is. It's a shell game, if you will, game nonetheless. But it's the fact that when you see somebody's information, I'm with you on it. If you see someone's information in the computer, and a lot of people think, oh, well, my stuff is suspended, it's expired. No, you have to close it out. If it's not closed out and they can see it, then it's fact. And that is a contract in commerce that allows them to do what they're doing because you've waived your rights to be in it. So there you have it. All right, guys, that's about it. Education for today is over. I got some more consultations to do and videos to make and whatever else. So take care of yourselves, travel properly or drive correctly. Either or, pick a side. That's it. Have everything done right or don't do it at all. So feel free to hit that bell, like, subscribe. Thank you guys for checking once again another video out. I will talk to you guys later. Peace in the Middle East and all that good jazz.